everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today to do my Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas book talk. So this is the prequel to the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. It follows Celaena Sardothien through 5 different novellas just before the events of Throne of Glass, and this is the book that I decided to start my read-along with. A lot of people were asking me if they could read this one before the rest, and you definitely can. I think that it gives you a really good background on Celaena. You go into Throne of Glass knowing so much, especially if you actively read it. It's just, this book has so many Easter eggs I noticed in this reread. I had never reread it before, so it was really exciting for me. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The first 2 novellas I found kind of slow, but the last 3 just blew me away. They blew me away. So I'm going to try to not make this video too long, so bear with me. I basically described the whole non-spoilery part. Well, that's really it for my non-spoiler discussion then. Let's get into the spoilery one. I'm gonna go in order of novellas. I think it's just gonna be the easiest way to keep everything in track. But I really felt like the first novella was there to show you the kind of person Celaena was and is in this book, and the kind of person she's going to transform into. Obviously, it's the assassin and the pirate lord. It really shows Celaena at her most Outerlands assassin-y. She has her black mask on for most of it. She has her black cloak on. She's keeping her identity secret. She's very sassy. She's very rude. She's very spoiled, and she's so mean to Sam too. As we get into the story though, we start to really see her personality shift, especially in the scene where she starts she's trying to explain to Sam why they need to free the slaves, and she's like, they're innocent, they have lives, you know, they never had a choice. And it really is kind of interesting to me that she's phrasing it that way, because them as assassins don't really get choices either. They got ripped away from whatever life they had. Or maybe it's because she really didn't, in her opinion, have a life before she became an assassin, and they didn't have a choice, but they also didn't have a life to go back to. I really love how Sarah J. Maas can balance these serious fights and brawls and everything with humor. It's probably my favorite part. The scene after Celaena trips the pirate and starts that bar brawl, and they escape out of it, and then Rolf is trying to get everyone's attention, and he screams at the top of his lungs, "Enough!" Everyone lifted whatever they had in their hands, a mug, a sword, a clump of hair, and saluted. And then promptly resumed fighting. I just feel that's such a perfect description of pirates, because okay, yeah, you're our lord and we're gonna respect you, but also I'm in the middle of a fight, can't you see? He's saying do you know how much money you cost me? And she was and he's listing off the things. He's 2 ships, 200 slaves, the 6 ships you disabled. And she goes, don't forget about all that ale last night. It's good point, Celaena, good point. Just keep adding to your tally. I think it's so interesting that she is putting her faith into a pirate, because, I mean, yeah, she threatens him. She's trust me, I'll know. But it's can you really know? Especially with how this book ends, her going to Endovir, how is she really gonna know that he's not going back into the slave trade? Wouldn't he hear that Outerland's assassin went to Endovir, you know? I don't know. Also, that is so full circle to me. In the beginning of the story, she's freeing slaves, and at the very end, she's going into Endovir becoming a slave. This whole book basically revolves around slaves, which I thought was kind of interesting, because it does. Even when she gets back, and the assignment that Arobin gives her is to free slaves from Melisande, she just puts her faith in him. She's well, I have your signet ring, I have the papers, and you're gonna approve this because I'm gonna kill you if not. And he just kind of gives in, and I was kind of annoyed by that, because I feel Rolf was a businessman, even though he was more civilized than what I would assume a pirate to be. I just feel he wouldn't have given up that easily, but he did, so whatever. And then The Assassin and the Healer, it was just a very in-between novella for me. It's very short, it's just, it's mostly, if you guys didn't know, this isn't really a spoiler, but Yrene appears later on in the series, so it's kind of setting it up for, I think, hearing about her. Because in this one, Yrene is so docile, and she's just so stuck in her situation, and I don't know, it's really sad, because it's you know that something bad happened to her, and you know she wants to be a healer, and freaking Celaena is still so mean to her. But, okay, if I do have anything nice to say about Celaena, is that she can really make an entrance. Of course, Urine's out there defenseless, that she is out in the alley and all these guys, like these mercenaries, are about to steal her money and probably worse things. And Selena just starts killing them off, like in the shadows. In the shadows, of course she does. Like, she can't be seen. She's just a wraith in the night. The ringleader's like, come out, you bleeding cow. Your face is like a proper man. Just like how you proper men surrounded a defenseless girl in an alley. With that, the stranger stepped from the mist. She had 2 long daggers in her hands, and both blades were dark with dripping blood. So she totally did that on purpose. This story was mostly just to like hit home that Selena is a better person than she makes herself out to be. Like, she is rude to Urine when they go back inside. She's like, you really had to go outside? And then she teaches her like moves, which I thought was cool. And she's even like, show every girl, show anyone that you can. Like, everyone should know how to defend themselves. And then obviously she leaves gold behind. Like, all her gold, basically, and then her brooch, so that Urine can actually go to the southern continent and learn how to be a healer. I thought that was really sweet, like, and I just thought it was so funny how they, like, phrased it in the end, like, isn't it ironic, the assassin helping the healer? My favorite story is probably, though, this next one, The Assassin in the Red Desert. I love this one. This has the most true Selena to date. Like, honestly, like, I think that that's just like herself. Like, she can be herself. She's not in like under scrutiny. She doesn't have to be anyone's assassin. She can just be. It is frustrating though once we get, like, because we already knew that she was bruised and everything, but like when we actually get the beating scene from Arobin, like, we know that she really looks up to Arobin more as a father and everything, so it's just so disappointing when, like, from freeing slaves, like, yes, you lost a deal, whatever, you are the king of assassins, you have money to spare. And I know he had to punish her, but it's just so frustrating because she thinks that he's about to punish Sam. Like, she didn't even consider herself. She's like, I'm his favorite, I'm his protege, like, he would never hurt me. And she's about to turn to Sam to help him, and she just gets beat. So that's really when you start to get to know Arobin. Okay, so is it just me, or are Ansel and Selena so similar? Like, so similar. I think it's just hilarious, because, like, Selena's really annoyed at her in the beginning. She's like this girl that's always smirking, she's always laughing, like, she's just so sassy and annoying, and it's like, Selena, are you talking about yourself? No, but I thought they were super, super similar, like, their personalities and everything. I love the Asterian horses. Like, that whole scene is just so great. It's perfect. It's just such a way to set off the rest of the mood for what Selena's life should and always could be. Because, like, Ansel's there to just really, like, bring out that side. Like, we should have fun. They're, like, running along the beach with the, like, the guards chasing after them. And I really like how Sarah J. Maas can really describe, like, the euphoria. Because there's always moments that, like, we as humans, like, sit there and realize we're in that moment, that this is a cool moment, or, like, that we're really small, or, like, things like that, and, like, Sarah J. Maas adds that in her books. Oh yeah, right here. So, Selena had a sudden moment of clarity then, as her hair ripped from her braid and the wind tore at her clothes. Of all the girls in all the world, here she was on a spit of beach in the Red Desert, astride an Asterian horse racing faster than the wind. Most would never experience this. She would never experience anything like this again. And for that one heartbeat, when there was nothing more to it than that, she tasted bliss so complete that she tipped her head back to the sky and laughed. Like, that's so beautiful. And then they freaking vault over like a 15-foot gap, or not 15 foot, that was later on. But, like, they launch over a gap, and I love that, like, they end up getting put on cleaning duty in the farm to, like, look after their horses and everything. And I love that because, like, Selena was willing to take the fall for the whole thing, even though it wasn't her idea. That's when the Mute Master decided that he would train her. Because I think they said, like, until you're ready to, like, let go of all your past, until you're ready to, like, show that you're, like, ready to be here, he won't train you. And that really showed it for her, while Ansel had still been having trouble letting go of her past, which we can obviously see when she's, like, telling Selena her backstory, which, for all my people that have read the rest of Throne of Glass, for anyone who hasn't read the rest of Throne of Glass and this is their first read, I'm gonna hold this up until I stop talking, because this part's a little bit spoilery, not really, but just, like, don't listen. So, isn't it crazy that Ansel's backstory is so similar again to someone else that we know in the series? And you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about if you've read it. So I'm not going to say anything else just in case people kept listening. So And then I think that just makes it all the more heartbreaking when Ansel betrays them. But she betrays them for her land. She wants the troops to be able to go down there and defeat the people that like destroyed her family. And she's doing it in all the wrong ways because the silent assassins are so good. Like, it's so weird to me because like I feel like assassins shouldn't be this like soft and nice and everything, but like they totally are in this book. And it's just like frustrating when Ansel betrays them all for this. But she does care about her friend. I think that was an important scene too, just to know that Ansel really did care about Selena and that's why she sent her away. But like, did she not think that if Selena handed over to Arobin a blank letter, he would beat her ass? Like, he already did it and Ansel knows, so like, but it's just like, it hurts all the more when like Selena has like her sword to the back of his neck and then she lets her go. Like, I thought that was amazing. I thought that it was great that she actually let Ansel go and didn't kill her, and she gave her back her dad's sword because that's the last thing she had of him. And then she gave her an extra minute while firing the arrow. I don't know. It just turned into a really beautiful friendship really fast. And like, I know there's a lot of betrayal in there and stuff, but like, I want to see more of Ansel. Also, the hint for the rest of the book when the Mute Master was stopped by Gloriella and Selena sniffs it and she recognizes the smell, but later on she doesn't recognize the smell. Oh, but the final scene that I love from the Red Desert is when the Mute Master is giving her the letter and he's like speaking, like actually speaking, and he's like, when you give him this, also give him those. When you give your master this, also give him those. And he's like pointing to the trunks and everything, and then he's like, and tell them that in the Red Desert, we don't abuse our disciples. Oh, suck it, Arobin. All right, so I'm back. I'm sorry if I'm at like a slightly different angle. My camera is hopefully charged enough for me to finish this. So let's just jump into the next novella. So the next couple novellas are just really the things that end up defining Selena in Throne of Glass. I think the other ones were all just build up and like character development in general, but these next two, they set Selena up for the rest of Throne of Glass. And so it's really so frustrating that like when she goes back, and I completely understand it. That's the problem, is I totally understand where she's coming from when she gets sucked back under Arobin's grip. Like, she's never known anything but Arobin. Like, yes, he can be cruel, but he's being so nice and apologetic and he's giving her gifts and she loves gifts, and like, it's just so easy to just not do what she had planned. Yeah. Also, I thought it was cool, or interesting maybe, that the brooch he gives her is emerald now, and I was wondering if it was like emerald for Terracin. It's just frustrating that she gets sucked back under his grip. But I do love meeting Lysandra. She is just so funny to me because she's so much like Selena too. She's just sassy and prim and spoiled, and she's used to getting everyone's attention, and she's just a character. And especially like when we're hearing Sam like trying to defend her, like he has a point. Like, she didn't have a choice either. She was put into a similar type of business that him and Selena were put into, and he tries to tell her, he's like, this isn't the real her, but like, Selena's jealous. I love that Selena's jealous of Lysandra and Sam spending time together. This is like the thing that I love about Sarah J. Maas's writing, is like she writes character feelings so well, like thought processes. Like, she is so able to like get that out for you, because like I would be the same way. I would be shysty if I thought that the guy that I crush on was like talking to another girl. Like, I would probably do the same thing. I love when Selena and Sam really start flirting. Like in when they go to the theater. First of all, it's hilarious because she just turns around, she goes, "You look handsome," and just turns right back around. So that's hilarious. And then he like comes up behind her, all sexy, because Sam is sexy, and he goes, "You look beautiful, though I bet you already knew that." Like, right up against her ear, murmuring. Ah, I was dead. I was deceased. And I love that Selena's really soft-hearted about the theater. Like, she loves watching the performances, and she gets the song stuck in her head, and she plays the piano. Like, she is just like so well-rounded. Not only can she kill people, but she can play your heart out on a piano. And then I love when Sam gets jealous, because, you know, Selena got jealous, so it's only fair that Sam would get jealous too at the ball when this mysterious masked noble comes up and is like flirting with her, and then Sam pulls her away and he's like, she's taken. And it's like, okay. But she doesn't say okay, she's just like, go away. She's so conflicted about whether to trust people now because of what happened with Ansel, and it's kind of frustrating because it's like, Sam is a good person. He helped you free slaves. You've known him your whole life. Like, I'm sure that you can trust him. And then, of course, to build up to trust, that sewer scene. First of all, disgusting. I can't even imagine. Ugh. And then Sam of course he came for her. She even told him, she was like, no, don't come. Just stay with Lysandra. Which, okay, just as a side note, I think it's the whole bidding idea is so disgusting. Like, I'm sure it definitely was a thing. It makes me pity Lysandra even more, because it's like, she's just been trained into this. Like, she doesn't really know any better, you know? Just like how Selena doesn't know any better. She just knows how to be an assassin, so. But yeah, so he's coming back from like all this like preparation with Lysandra, and of course he went, even though Selena told him not to, and he finds her under the grate, and he's like pulling the thing, and it's not budging, and then she like, her last breath was, take my body home to Terrasen. Which is why I wore green, okay? Because I know Terrasen loves green, and like, I love Terrasen, and I just want to be Selena, it's okay. My heart melted. And then, I jumped so hard my wand fell. When they go back down to the sewers because they decided that that's the best way to break back into the house is the way that they try to kill her, she's like, but why? Why can't you let it go? Because I love you. Her mouth fell open. I love you, he repeated, shaking her again. I have for years, and he hurt you, and he made me watch because he's always known how I felt too, but if I asked you to pick, you'd choose Arabin, and I can't take it. You're a damned idiot, she breathed. You're a moron and an ass and a damned idiot. Because I'd pick you. And then he kisses her. It's just precious. And he's like kissing her, and they love each other. And oh my god, when we find out that she had put the spider silk in his suit and not hers, that's probably one of my favorite scenes, because not only does she not take any credit for it, like she finds spider silk, and when she's like with the suitor and she's thinking about how unfair it is that Sam has to pay for his own, but they've just kind of gotten in a little tiff, you know? Like they were annoyed at each other, and she was like ready to kill him again. And so she turns back and she goes, can you put spider silk in, like over the heart? So we're obviously assuming she's doing it for herself, because Selena does everything for herself. But then we see the scene where he's like, it's so strange, an arrow shot right at me, but it just bounced off. And she doesn't even say anything. She doesn't even mention that she put the spider silk in there. He's like, no wonder the suit cost so much. Just really shows again, like, that Selena can really actually be a selfless person, like, not only with like slaves and everything, but like she doesn't take any credit for this. Like, she just did it to do it because she wanted to keep Sam safe. Like, and then we finally start getting into the uncomfortable parts with Arabin, where you start to see his dark side. She finally just pays him off, and she's like, you know what, I want to keep working with you. I want this to stay civil, but you don't own me anymore. He uses it on Lysandra's bidding, which is disgusting, first of all, because Lysandra is obviously the exact same age as Selena, and like Selena more sees like Arabin as a father figure than anything else, but like she even says it herself. She's like, we never really had that discussion of whether it was lover, brother, or father. I just feel so bad for Lysandra. Like, I really do. Like, she can be annoying as shit, like, especially in the end when she's like still goading Selena. Like, Sam just died, and you are... That part was frustrating. I'm glad Selena threw a dagger at her head. And then it just, Arabin just, he was using her the entire time with that contract. The contract ended up being a lie, and that was really frustrating, and he's like, are you really that stupid? And it's just like Arabin is just like a disgusting human, and I'm really glad that like it shows a lot of like abusive tendencies throughout the entire book, and I'm so glad that in the end Selena is able to stand up to him, that she gives him the money for Sam's freedom too. She sold Casita for it to this disgusting human that's also gonna slave trade. All right, now for the big one. The last one. This one was very emotional. I cried, I'm not gonna lie. It just always hits me really hard. But we just like open up with Sam in the vault. It's just like she's annoyed by it. She wants to beat his ass in the vaults, which I think she should have done. And then Sam gets like this big idea. He's like, we need to move away. And she's like, well, we need to like break ties with the guild. And he's just getting really like, he's in such a rush, which makes sense. Like, I know that he wants to get away from this all, but like he really needs to think things through. He's like rushing Selena, and Selena's still so attached to Rifthold, and it's just like, I was kind of getting annoyed with Sam in the beginning just because of it, but like he is a good person, and you can really tell with every single scene like where he like annoys her and then she says something and then he says something really nice to her. And then he takes this contract. And like from the start, you just know this contract is a bad idea. It's just like, it's not gonna go well. The undisputed crime lord of Rifthold, like, it's not gonna go well. I think Arobynn is a disgusting, awful swine of a human because he's planning it. Like, well, you have to wonder like if he planned it all, but like I think he did. And so it's just like when he goes back and she finds him in the apartment, he's like, are you really gonna take this contract? That's stupid. You know that he did that because she wanted to defy him. Like, she always wants to defy Arobynn right now, at least, and so him telling her not to take the contract because she wouldn't be good enough, well, she is so prideful. So like, of course, when Arobynn's telling her like, not even I could do it, she's gonna be like, well, I can. He threatens her. He's like, does Sam even know everything about you? And then Sam goes, I don't even care what you have to say because I know that the day that you do trust me and tell me, then I'm gonna be honored that you trust me enough to tell me. Like, I don't care until then. Like, that's yours to hold. And why does he have to get all like macho man when he's like, I'm gonna go take Farron by myself? She's like, why won't you just let me come along? And he's like, no, I got this. I'm gonna take it by myself. It was so frustrating, okay? Watching like Selena just sitting home and she's like, she realizes he's like an hour late and she's like, probably just got held up, like he had to escape and everything, like it's okay. And then 3 hours late and then a few hours late and then she falls asleep. And I know she was worried, but like I just wish she'd gone out there and like noticed that like I don't know, it could have been avoided, but like I know it couldn't have. Going to the guild, and when she sees Sam's body and she's like, there's this musky scent on him. I think it's really frustrating that she can't recognize the Gloriella on him because like I feel like that could have really helped her later on, but whatever. And she just lays there with him and Arobynn lets her. And also just flashing forward when Arobynn is talking to fucking Farron, sorry for my language, he just goes, I just don't like to share my belongings. She does not belong to you. She paid off her debt. She doesn't belong to you. You're an asshole. She deserved Sam and you killed Sam for this. And Selena, like in her blood fury, of course, doesn't realize that they're tricking her again when they're sitting outside of her door and they're explaining their plan. Oh, when Wesley warns her. Like, I thought that was really interesting because the entire book we're hearing that Wesley never trusted Selena, that he's always guarding Arobynn, but he did love Sam. So it does make sense that in the end Wesley would try to warn her because he's sad, he's upset that Arobynn would force this upon Sam and he's trying to warn her and she just knocks him out because she doesn't trust him. Honestly, it was heartbreaking seeing her in the cells of the glass castle because it's just like she is broken. Now that Sam was dead, there wasn't anything left outside of the dungeons worth fighting for anyway. Not when Aderlin's assassin was crumbling apart and her world with her. The girl who'd taken on a pirate lord and his entire island, the girl who'd stolen Assyrian horses and raced along the beach in the Red Desert, the girl who'd sat on her own rooftop watching the sunrise over the Avery, the girl who'd felt alive with possibility. That girl was gone. She's numb. Like, that's how they keep describing her. It is a really, like, I think, accurate form of, like, shock, in my own opinion. I do study, actually, psychology in college. I'm almost done with my degree, so I think it is a pretty accurate description of shock. And then she goes off to Tindovir, to the salt mines, which is just heartbreaking. Like, literally, Arobynn isn't even gonna break her out of the carriage. Like, he's like, I don't like sharing my belongings. I'm gonna teach her a lesson. Like, whatever happens to him, he is getting what's coming to him. Oh, I'm so glad that this is the book that I started my read-along with. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I hope you guys thought it was a good book to start the read-along with as well. But if you didn't read it, still let me know. If you're participating, if you just started with Throne of Glass, if you're reading it in the order it printed out, that's totally that's gonna be it for my book talk. It's actually probably gonna be really long, so that's kind of annoying. But I'm just gonna cut it off right here. So just to remind you, now we are currently about to read Throne of Glass starting Monday, which is probably when this video is going to be posted, but if not, you know it starts on Monday the 22nd. So that's going to be it for my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!